Are there any limitations with the RCP control, or is it fully compatible already?
There are certain things like a LUT. You're going to have to use a laptop to load, to create new LUTs, or you can load different LUTs into the camera, and then this box will essentially just turn on or off the LUT as you go in, and then do the CDLs to it and such. So that's really something where this world never dealt with, broadcast world never dealt with LUTs before. That's not the way they work. So we have it's a limitation that isn't a real limitation, because it's not like you suddenly show up on the day and like, hey, halfway through the day I'm going to switch to a different LUT. No. What happens is that you load the LUT at the beginning of your day, and you set it up, and all the cameras are going to match, and you tweak your cameras at that point. So it's a limitation that I would say is not at all a limitation. You can do all the CDLs and all the controls still at any time. You can plug a laptop into the whole system, and they can all be interconnected, and then you just load a new LUT at that moment anyway. So as functionality, we also added a bunch of other little functions that, they might sound little at first, but actually this is the stuff that people really need in order to be able to shoot multicam. Things like having return video come back to the camera so they can see what the other shots are. Having tally light, so if I just flip the switch there, you see it sends a tally signal over, and that's going to be, what would come from a switcher goes to the paint box and then makes it to the camera, and that kind of communication. This is all compatible with different fiber systems, so that you can have just a single trunk cable instead of having to have a big pile of coiled cables together and stuff. So it just makes it all sort of efficiently work together. So it's not limited. In fact, I find it actually lends a lot of other functionality. Things like the fact that this camera, it has our dual native ISOs in it. So you have 800 and 5000 as your two native sensitivities. Well, that, and in combination with 14 stops of dynamic range, you now can handle lighting situations that might be great for your location as a live thing, but when you're pointing cameras at it, maybe not so great. It's a lot of dynamic range that you have to deal with in lighting situations. So it now accommodates a great range of exposure. Also, what it means, this is a 35 millimeter, super 35 millimeter sensor on the camera, and we have EF mount or PL mount for the camera.
So all the advantages of a larger sensor in comparison, right?
Right, and so you get that look, that cinematic kind of look out of it. But then there are a lot of people who would like to have the versatility of using 2/3 inch lenses, like if you're being in a big stadium kind of situation or big concert hall and you want to have one of those 100 times zoom lens, big box or whatever, you need a certain kind of lens. Those are made for 2/3 inch. Well, there's these optical adapters that are designed to use 2/3 inch lenses on a Super 35 sensor. But in taking an image that's this big and expanding it out to be that big, covers more area, so it's dimmer across it, you lose about 2.5 stops of light. Well, we've got dual native ISO, 800 or 5000. That's just over 2.5 stops of difference. So you flip into the high sensitivity mode, and you've now compensated for using that adapter. So you could have, say, 4 cameras on a shoot. 2 of them are in the back of the house using big box lenses, and they're at 5,000. You have 2 up in front, and maybe they're using regular, like PL mount 35 lenses or something, and they're at 800, and your cameras are pretty much matching. Whereas if you tried to do that with other systems, you just have to pump the gain up a lot, or you have to pour tons of light onto your subjects in order to be able to see. There's a versatility to this system.
Thank you very much, Mitch Gross. Stunning information, stunning news about the CineLive system. Thank you very much for tuning in here from the Panasonic booth of NAB Show 2018.